President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has again stressed the need for collective action and cooperation amongst African nations to effectively combat terrorism, cybercrime, transnational crime, and other forms of insecurity on the continent. The Nigerian leader, who stated this on Monday when he declared open the maiden edition of the African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2025 in Abuja, said there must be a framework for African defense institutions to speak with one voice and act with one purpose. President Tinubu, who was represented at the summit by his deputy, Vice President Kashim Shettima, said the extreme scale of threats across Africa has made it a must for nations to pause and reflect. The Nigerian leader drew the attention of the defense chiefs to a stark reality about Africa, saying the continent is bound as a family, interwoven not just by borders but destiny.
Aspirations to make Africa safe. It is time to forge a new doctrine of continental defense, one rooted in trust, shared intelligence, and coordinated strategy. Nigeria's promise has always been simple and firm: to be a good neighbor and a brother's keeper in the struggle for peace. Our armed forces have stood shoulder to shoulder with our neighbors and far beyond in peacekeeping missions, counter-terrorism operations, and humanitarian endeavors. We hold no illusion. Security is the foundation upon which the edifice of progress must stand. That is why we must use this summit not merely as a meeting, but as a covenant to deepen cooperation through joint training, harmonized doctrines, and interoperable systems.
The Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations and Chair of the United Nations Sustainable Development Group, Amina Mohammed, noted that the gathering marked the birth of a new era in African security cooperation, necessitating a united approach to tackling emerging threats. On his part, Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, charged fellow chiefs of defense staff and heads of the armed forces of allied countries to lead the charge in organizing forces and investing in cyber defense, artificial intelligence, and indigenous military technology, explaining that without these, it would be difficult to achieve adequate security.
Moment. It is the first of its kind to represent the boots on the ground, a rare opportunity to connect their realities with the policy decisions that shape our continent's security. Nearly 1 in every 5 people on Earth call Africa home. Each one deserves a life in safety and in dignity. And that means protecting civilians, respecting borders, and standing by the principles of international law and the UN Charter. Above all, it calls for a united approach against our common threats. We know that Africa is at the epicenter of global terrorism deaths.
The high-level event was graced by military authorities within Nigeria and across Africa, including Nigerian legislators and foreign diplomats.